I'm out here enjoying this beautiful sunny day, Jack and Daniels. But I think it's time we get on this. We gotta talk about this Venezuela shit, because I'm seeing these posts about how and they do this every election cycle in Venezuela. I got a really good video on the last one under that piece of shit Trump, where it talked about all the lies that they put out, because every year they just lie and lie and lie. They lie about everything that's going on there. Like, oh, the people can't vote and they can't go outside and all this other stupid shit, and they're being oppressed. They don't have guns and yada yada. They've taken all the weapons. All that shit's bullshit. All of it's nonsense. See, here's the deal. The white supremacist oligarchs have been wanting to take Venezuela since the 50s to control all their resources, the mineral wealth. They've got more oil than Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia right now, they need to diversify. That's why they've been making all these crazy social reforms and changing up their economy, and they're building all these crazy cities. Because they're not going to be able to do the oil thing forever. Because Venezuela has way more, and it's socialized. See, Venezuela used to be under Rafael Cordero, who was an American bitch. He did what the Aryans told him to do. Everything was all good, but he oppressed his people. And that oil wealth went to the Iberian white supremacists that ran the country, and they're the ones who fund and back these fake candidates like that clown Juan Guaido, who he wasn't even running in the 2018 election. He wasn't even in. He just declares himself president. So the white supremacist oligarchs and the CIA go down there and prop that idiot up, give him guns via the proxy state that they had going on in Colombia at the time. We already know about what Colombia was doing, where they were slaughtering black farmers down there. Yeah, a lot of these guys on here, they really didn't like me talking about that. But I don't give a shit, because this is what's going on. Now, right now they're making up shit about Venezuela's fraudulent voting turnout. And they're talking about exit polls and all that shit. But I mean, the thing is, it's a farce. Because the opposition party, which is nothing but a proxy of the Aryan race in the United States, the Aryan Anglos here and the Iberian white supremacists down in Venezuela already said that they deny any, they weren't going to recognize any voter turnout that didn't go in their favor. And the thing is, they had 3 days to bring proof that they'd won and that there was fraud. But instead of that, they started riots literally the next day, backed by CIA operatives in the area that are funded by slush funds and armed by weapons from Colombia that were shipped there via Silkway Airlines to once again provide plausible deniability for this attempted insurrection. Because right now, just like the last time, they're throwing shit, they're throwing bombs, they're throwing grenades, they're shooting people. Mostly the poor, the natives, and the blacks. That's who they usually target, because most of the people doing this are white. That's the reality. That's the fucking reality. It's always white supremacists doing this shit. It's about the resources. Donald Trump said it when he tried to kill Maduro back in 2019. The reality is they don't like when non-whites have and control the resources because they want to feed you. It's about whites. It's always going to be about whites. Every fucking time. Every time. The Aryans want to control everything. And they want to use that oil to continue their sanction matrix. Because right now what they're doing in Venezuela is they've sanctioned them so hard that that's what's causing the poverty. But then they'll blame it on communism. Say communism is why they don't have any food. Communism is why fuel prices are high. Communism is why this and that. When it's the sanctions. And when you point out that it's the sanctions and you prove it's the sanctions, then all of a sudden hate speech and you support communism and communism doesn't work. If communism doesn't work, what the fuck's going on in Vietnam and China? Both of those places are communist. You can lie to yourself all fucking day. Both of those places are communist. Both of them are communist. China is an absolute communist dictatorship. And it's run better than America. They're doing way more shit than America. Their quality of living is higher than America. Regardless of the bullshit you tell yourselves, it's higher than the living standard in America. Their quality of life has gone up exponentially. They've added capitalist reforms to communism because communism is a form of government and capitalism is an economic model. They don't contradict. They don't contradict whatsoever. And that's why communism is beating capitalism as we speak. But as far as Venezuela goes, there was no election fraud. In Venezuela, they have a foolproof system. And I'm going to bring up some points afterwards. But the thing is, they got voter IDs, they got fingerprint verification, the voting machines ain't connected to the internet, and those same machines leave a paper trail at time-limited voting stations. They have same-day results, multiple audits. They got 900 election agencies from damn near 100 countries. All to ensure that you can tally up, count, and verify what's going on, who's doing what, and when they're doing it. Their election is damn near foolproof, and that's why it's been damn near 8 weeks. Well, 8 weeks, it's been like 10 days, but it's been 10 days, and these motherfuckers on the opposition that's backed by America still can't prove how they stole the election. How did Maduro steal the election? You can't prove it, because he didn't. He didn't steal shit. He didn't steal a damn thing. And now these exit polls, and exit polls are illegal in Venezuela, but you got places like Radio Free Europe talking about voters feel that they've been cheated and their voices aren't being heard, and this is a disgrace to democracy. But the thing is, Radio Free Europe, Voice of America, the Middle East Broadcasting Network, Radio Liberty, all of these are government agencies, U.S. government agencies, backed by the CFR, under the Agency for Global Media, which is part of the State Department. It's all U.S. talking points and propaganda. It's another wing of propaganda from the white supremacist oligarchs in the United States. Right? I want you to know that right now. Venezuela is all about oil. It's about oil. It's about controlling natural resources in Latin America. That piece of shit Elon Musk, just like he did in Bolivia, he's got a hand in this as well, because there's a lot of lithium in Bolivia and there's a whole lot of lithium in Venezuela, and he needs it for his fucking cars. So he's always backing shit like this. Always. He's always got his hands in this shit. That white supremacist piece of shit's always got his hands in this kind of shit. Make no mistake, and he's a huge, huge fan of the NSA. He used to talk about it all the time. The video's been pulled. Like, I'm a huge fan of the NSA. I wanted to join the NSA, but they wouldn't let me. This nigga is an apartheid ethno state. He was birthed in an apartheid ethno state in South Africa. He's a hardcore white nationalist. Just like Jim Crow Joe, just like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's won't smoke up black Americans' asses because he knows that's what they want to hear. He's all about telling stupid people that he doesn't respect, black or white, what they want to hear to get the vote, because he doesn't give a shit. And then once he gets in, He lets his guys take over and they do what they want to do. And that's not me endorsing in any way the Punjabi. Because like I said, the Punjabi is there to start a war with Iran, keep the war going with Ukraine, and I'm going to start talking about pretty soon Myanmar, because the white supremacist oligarchs cooked that shit up in Bangladesh, and so I got to get up on that video too before I start going hard in the white supremacists again. But yeah, those videos are coming. They're coming real soon, because all this shit's connected. And in the end, with all these criminals and immigrants coming here, the black Americans are going to suffer. The blacks are going to suffer, because it's only a matter of time before they give the immigrants jobs. When the economic insurgents start getting work, black Americans are going to get pushed out even more. Guys like Elon Musk, they're going to give all those jobs where they're disrespecting and treating you like crap. They're going to give them to those migrants. At Amazon, they're going to do the same. And then you guys are going to be unstuck economically, politically, because most blacks, they're not going to withhold their vote. And even if they did, it's going to put them at a massive disadvantage, because the Aryan race is already strategizing how to nullify your vote even further, since they've gutted the Voting Rights Act under Bush and Obama. Same Obama who extended Bush's tax cuts for the rich 3 times, and then created that toothless bullshit Wall Street bill that only benefited Wall Street, just like his Mitt Romney, Ronald Reagan Richard Nixon care only benefited the corporations from the insurance corporations. And that clown Kamala is cut from the same cloth as him and Jim Crow Joe. So even though she called Jim Crow Joe a racist, and she locked up a bunch of black men, and then used black labor in the prison system, and innocent labor in the prison system to keep that money flowing. A lot of times, when you see that there's not a lot of work, and there's all this made in America shit, a lot of times it's because they got prison labor. It's not even outsourced to India and shit. It's labor in America, in the prisons, where they get paid 1 or 2 cents. So, yeah, they've got all their bases covered. They're going to use the Hispanics, the Asians, and women to nullify the black vote, so they don't have to worry about giving blacks anything tangible. They've already been told, and they've passed out memos about this, that they're never supposed to promise black Americans anything. Ever. Never, ever, ever do they promise black Americans anything. So there's that. But back to this Venezuela stuff. So, yeah, the opposition down there, Maria, whatever the fuck her name is, she's just Rafael Guerrero 2.0. They want to get her in power, or anybody that's pro-America. They want to get them in power so they can take advantage of the oil to benefit themselves. Once they have that oil in place, they can have them either increase or decrease the supply on the international stage to sanction some other country that they don't like, who's not playing ball with them. Russia and China are trying to avoid war because it will be a Pyrrhic victory. And what they want to do is build up their economies. Then they can isolate America and deal with trade around the world without being the world bodyguards, or whatever you want to call it, the world hitmen. Because that shit gets old. But American empire, which is nothing but white supremacist Anglo-Saxon empire, needs to have a foothold on everyone's neck. They need to have CIA operatives and military bases, whether public or secret, like the one down in Jalisco, in Mexico. Because if you look on paper, there's no bases in Mexico. But in the Tabasco region, I believe in Jalisco or somewhere around there, there's an American base down in Mexico. I forget where exactly where it is, but there's a secret American base down in Mexico. They've got bases every goddamn where. Secret ones, like the one in Australia, Adelaide or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. The elections aren't fraudulent. The Venezuelan government didn't take their citizens' guns. They actually encouraged them to have guns, just like I encourage black Americans to have guns. You will need the guns because they're working against you. They're using these economic insurgents to replace you. And I'm not just talking about Caribbean tethers. We're talking about the SA partners. See, even the guy, he doesn't talk about them SA partners. He only talks about the stupid Africans. But them SA partners y'all love to claim are working against you, especially down in California, which is interesting that certain people aren't talking about that. But not just in California. They're spreading across the South. They're spreading across Illinois. They're joining the police forces in every state that they get numbers in. And then they turn on you. And then they turn on you. They're being used to replace you. It's not about replacing the Aryans. That's just, get that out of your head right now. Again, the Aryan race controls all the information so they can let you think you're winning while you lose horrendously in comfort. Alright? So watch your backs. Understand that your SA partners ain't your partners because they're allied to the Aryans and they use the same exact tactics that the Aryans use on your asses. So all I can say is get armed, bitch.